The voice of Husker Nation is on the air. This is Hail Varsity Radio. Insight, opinion, expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join in with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel.
Welcome to it, Roadshow Friday. We are here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. It is the first of many patio shows. We have a glorious patio out here, and we're just off of Lincoln Road on Highway 370 in Gretna. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Will Wilson chained back to the studio. It is a fall feel right now as we get you ready for Nebraska and UTEP. Kicks off tomorrow at 2:30. If you're in the region or just want to get in the region, we invite you up here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, the Gretna location. The patio is magnificent. I'm staring at three high-top tables that are, yes, also fire pits, which are just wonderful. Elijah's commandeering about ankle-high fire pit to himself. We don't need them today, but you might in the fall, and why not grab a slice of pie? Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. They have all the starters and bar snacks you want. If you're watching your figure, salads, yes. Pasta, yes. Pizza, yes. Wings, burgers, wraps, sweets, and all sorts of chicken. They have corn head lager on tap, Elijah.
That they do.
Yes, they do. Look at that. Seamless option pitch. No fumble. The wings are incredible. They have the signature dipping sauces. They have the Bang Bang / Boom Boom sauce. You have to have.
That you do.
And get a pie. We will cover a lot today as we invite you up here to Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill off Lincoln Road in Gretna. Better or worse? You know what? That's something to think about when we talk Nebraska, Colorado. A lot of that will happen next week, but a lot of us are buzzing from last night's CU win. Needs and wants tomorrow. Nebraska-UTEP. We'll dive into that. Very superstitious. As, hey, it's a new season. That means it's time for a new Lucky Husker shirt, right? So we'll take some of your weird's a wrong term. Unique superstitions. And this place is renowned for its pizza. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's your pizza deal breaker? What I mean by that is, hey, dude, let's order some pizza. Great. Or in my instance, I've got to do my own thing because what my wife wants and will not eat is vastly, vastly different from what I like on my pizza. So get in and join us here on Hail Varsity. Hail Varsity YouTube can like and subscribe. Hail Varsity Twitter at HVarsity Radio. You can email Chris at hailvarsity.com, and then along the Hail Varsity Radio Network where you hear us on the radio. But YouTube, Twitter, radio, it's all covered as we'll get ready for it. But we invite you out. We have been on a string of road shows. We love it. It's football season. Patio show number 1 here at Hurrdat in Gretna off Lincoln Road. Back at the Single Barrel for the weekend edition tomorrow, 11:30 to 1:30. Had a great time. Point on week 1 of football with Real Red Reaction. 489-1240, 800-825-5865. Without further ado, let us get the starting 5. Shout-outs in the stream. Mr. Erickson in. I think Mr. Erickson's got a bit of a heater going 2 or 3 times this week, Elijah.
I think he's ready for game day.
he is. Let's be honest. You've been waiting for this 5 years as a Nebraska fan. You've been waiting 5 years for an opener that you can win or that didn't go wrong.
Can we put it into grander terms? You've been waiting 20 years for a savior. Does Nebraska have this savior at quarterback?
Elijah's just fast forwarding to December.
Hey, but am I wrong? Like, why is there all the hype about Dylan Raiola? It's because you spent 20 years wandering in the wilderness of college football, and you have a guy at quarterback that I think a lot of Husker fans think can bring you out of that wilderness. Not to mention just the quarterback. You have the head coach that you have confidence in.
You have the coach. You have the quarterback combo. That's absolutely the difference maker that you have. You've had some coaches, but not the quarterback. You've had maybe a quarterback good enough to win, but not the head coach. Or let's take it a step further. Maybe you've not had the leadership or administration to let coach and quarterback do their thing. Mr. Erickson is in. Eat Beef is here. Dylan is asking, can you feel it? We'll be hearing that on repeat quite a bit. NASCAR Eric is in. We love hearing from part of the Boulder Peace Treaty, Jeff Snitley, RSVPing. Aggressively Average. Let's have a Friday. Love it. Aggressively Average. Zach is here. Zach, good to have you. KG is here, just barely. KG had a funny comment earlier.
Yeah, should we pull that up?
Yes, do it.
Let's go find it.
Because it's the non-After Dark Hail Varsity show. We're in the bright, glorious sunshine of the patio and fire pit region. Yeah, the Before Dark show where you can curse and be nude and whatnot.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
So that's pretty good. Mr. Snitley's nearly fully husked. We don't need. We do have some pictures that have been sent, but they're but they're of flags. He didn't let me finish. You just jumped in there. They're of flags. They're Husker fans. Black Hills Brennan sent one in from the Black Hills.
They weren't even at half staff.
No, they were. Man, yes, we get crazy and sick when it comes to patio shows. Chaz in Cincinnati sent one in a few hours ago. Not in Cincinnati by choice, he says, fellas. Back to the folks in the stream here. Arlo, gonna have you in, buddy. Cliff in Florida says, "Go Big Effing Red." Justin, good to have you. The real Matthew is back. Graham here says, "Vamos." Patrick, good to check in with you. Mike Corgan here. A-Dub along with Scott. Sexy Grinch, Mr. Crew, back at it. Jacob Jurgens is here. Shane, good to have you. Drunk Monk says, "We want Clausborne." We want Clausborne.
So do we.
We do. We will have Clausborne at 5:40. Claus is coming up. We have the Friday forecast. Yes, Penn State v. West Virginia is on the docket. So there is no doubtedly a brutal either shower reference or Ned Beatty reference to come with that. Red Knight is here. Brent in as well. Brent, good to check in with you. Other Dave is here. And we'll get to more of your comments. Brian, thanks for checking in. Grateful Red also. KP300 in. Trevor, good to check in with you. Pat is here. Golden Fang says, "Was happening." Rule the Day. Good to have you. Rule the Day in. Sal from Omaha. Pat also in. Tiger Shark, good to check in with you. Okay.
How about Crew? Dropping a tip saying he's drinking a beer and leaving a tip for the Hail Varsity.
$1.99. We made enough tips over last fall's Real Red Reaction show. Where did that go? Will Wilson, Elijah Herbel, you guys are way more smart than I am. How do you cash that tip jar out?
I don't know.
That's code for it's in Elijah's account.
That's at a bar somewhere, probably.
Well, it's gone now. It's gone now. But you're invited out here off Lincoln Road, here off 370 Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill in Gretna. We're here till 6. Okay, so let's do some rapid fire needs and wants for tomorrow before we get into some first impressions of the Buffs last night, because we want to see good things tomorrow. If you're a Nebraska fan, no injury, win comfortably, and then it is Armageddon all week next week for the night game that you've been waiting for years. Brian Christopherson, 10 minutes away. Bill Doleman coming up at 5. We may or may not have a Brock Eward sighting. been in contact with Brock. He's been great to us over the years. And dude had to call a game that got pushed back a couple of different times at Minnesota last night for Fox with Carolina and the Gophers. So I'm sure he's getting caught up with the coaches now. If there's a little bit of a window, we'll check in with Brock Heward. Can't thank him enough for, and he wasn't even held at gunpoint. He sat in with us for a full 2 hours when we opened things up against Illinois on the road in 2021. But that's the point. You opened up against the pig farmer. You opened up during COVID against Ohio State. You opened up in Ireland against a guy named Fitzgerald, for God's sake, and lost that one. Last year, you opened up on a Thursday night and got beat on a walk-off kick that went through the uprights and didn't miss wide right, and fireworks still went off, unlike last night.
Yeah. Why is it that
it's destiny for a good 2024?
Why is it that I see so many other teams miss game-winning kicks, and I don't think I've ever seen in the past 5 years any team miss a game-winning kick against Nebraska? There's not one
they don't.
There's
a magnet
right down the middle.
There's something. I don't know. I can't explain.
Well, curse of Frank Solich?
No, I mean, there's been a live chicken. There's been enough tequila. I mean, no. Frank's spelled that out. There's no Frank curse. I mean, Steve Peterson's still alive and well.
there's the prime suspect.
Okay, I mean, that's what we're saying. So we'll get into needs and wants. Here's what I need. I need health. Okay, I need health tomorrow. That means I need left tackle to be healthy and play well and be confident, Turner Corcoran. I need health for Dylan Raiola. No blindside smoke jobs where he gets lit up on a pass or tweaks an ankle. And really that's it. And I need my secondary, if I'm a Nebraska fan, to stay healthy, especially against what's coming next week at the wide receiver core. I need those 5 guys that are black shirts that are incredibly talented to play well. But I need the backups. I need the first team to play well enough for the backups to get in and play in front of a crowd, so they're pretty comfortable. And then my want is 200 yards rushing at minimum tomorrow. 200 yards rushing. I don't care how it happens. I don't care if it's Emmett going off for 200 or Gabe Irvin going for 100.5 or Ramir going crazy. Give me 200 on the ground. Give me 200 on the ground. Give me 200 through the air at minimum. And I'm a good guy. Lastly, I'm going to take the turnover bingo and say a maximum of 1 turnover tomorrow.
I like it.
Short and sweet.
I do want to quickly, before I get into my wants and needs, give a shout out. Mrs. Black Hills Brennan checking in. Love that.
Tracy's the best. Her and Black Hills Brennan came out and watched Junior play in the Black Hills last summer, which was great. We had a beer, or we wanted to have a beer. They didn't sell it, but it was great. Tracy's incredible. Black Hills Brennan's fantastic as well. And it was great. So
I heard they're going to be in town next weekend, where we finally need to get them their anniversary gift.
Yes,
or it's not their wedding gift, I guess.
Sorry, since we're so late with the wedding gift, we might as well get them an anniversary gift too.
Okay, wants and needs though for Nebraska-UTEP. For me, it's pretty simple. Defensively, need this to be a tackling bunch. I need to see this defensive team tackle. That's everybody on the schedule it's going to be important for, but especially with what's coming to town next weekend with Colorado, the speed and the skill they have on the outside, you cannot be letting guys make it through the first tackler, because I don't think UTEP will do it, but I think Colorado, if you miss that first tackle, they have the ability to go 60 yards. So I need to see tackling tomorrow. Offensively, what I need to see an offensive line that in those moments where the defense knows you're going to run the ball, 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 2nd and 3, whatever it may be, whenever the defense knows you're going to run the ball and you're going to stack the box, I don't necessarily need a first down. I just need to see push from that offensive line. I need to see an offensive line that opens a hole, gets that defensive line moving backwards. That's the big key. You can stack the defensive front all you want. 7-8 guys in the box. If you're still getting that defensive line moving backwards into your linebackers, you're still going to pick up a couple yards. I need to see that from the offensive line, that little bit of nasty. Those are the 2 big things I want to see. Like, other things are forgivable.
You've got the bazooka on that right guard spot. He'll bring some nasty for you.
But like, he's going to improve it. And that's what I need to see tomorrow. It's against a UTEP team, a front 7 that you should be able to do that to. Need to see that. Need to see the tackling defensively. What I want to see, Want to see a pass rush get after UTEP tomorrow. I don't need to see it because I know UTEP is probably going to be incorporating a lot of 3-step drops, 5-step drops. Going to be harder to get home, but you're going to need a pass rush next week. North Dakota State made that pretty clear last night.
Some batted balls.
You need to get a pass rush. You need to make the quarterback uncomfortable. Batted balls, whether that's pressure, whether that's quarterback hits, hurries, whatever it is. Would like to see the quarterback be uncomfortable tomorrow. Not necessarily a need because of how UTEP operates their offense, but it's a want. And then I want to see Dylan Raiola in control of that offense. I'm not going to put a number on turnovers because I understand it's a true freshman in his first game. There's going to be emotions running high. But I want to see a quarterback that is in control, that is calm, that is poised, that is keeping the offense in rhythm. That's a big want for me tomorrow.
OC rhythm would be nice because poor Satterfield last year just had to make some lemonade. Will, what do you got here? Needs and wants real quick.
I want somebody to make field goals. It's a big thing for me.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Will wants a dirty cover.
And then I need somebody not throwing up that I have to pick up tomorrow night at the bar.
Oh, nice.
That's my need.
Your need is no, sir, you need to exit the facility?
That's right.
Okay. How many folks have you had to ask to leave after home openers?
Way too many to count, Schmidt.
Plead the fifth.
You're telling me there's five seconds left, or okay, you're up to 16 now. As Will counts us down, Brian Christopherson with us. Get out here to Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, Lincoln Road in Gretna.
If you're grilling this weekend, be sure to have plenty of artisan hearth buns and rolls on hand. Fancy equipment and secret sauces are great, but once you've mastered the basics, it's all about the bun. Your perfectly grilled burgers and hot dogs deserve the best. And with several varieties to choose from, including Wisconsin brat buns, gourmet brioche, French, and onion rolls, the bakers of Artisan Hearth have the buns and rolls your family will love. Artisan Hearth, locally baked, delivered fresh daily.
Franz and ABC News.
Everyone on the road is trying to make it to their destination safely. You can help by staying aware of the large trucks and buses around you. They take longer to stop, have large blind spots, and make wide turns that require caution from other drivers. It takes all of us working together to share the road safely. Learn more at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov. Paid for by FMCSA.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Need cash help but have bad or no credit? Then you need to go to FastLoansAI.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 regardless of your credit score. FastLoansAI.com is one of the largest lender networks. Their advanced technology can help anyone get up to $10,000. Best part? Money can be in your bank account as fast as the same day. When you need fast cash, go to FastLoansAI.com. That's FastLoansAI.com.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hello from the 1011 newsroom. It's Madison Pitch. This is what we are working on tonight. How Haymarket businesses are gearing up.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you. It's a road show. It's Friday. It's less than 24 hours before Nebraska-UTEP. We're off Lincoln Road here off of Highway 370, Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. The first of many patio shows. We are inviting you out 4 to 6 on Fridays. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Will Wilson. We welcome in Brian Christopherson with Husker 24/7 at BC Husker 24/7. Brian, it is just it almost feels like fall early, my friend. It's a great day to be talking Big Red football. How are you?
Yeah, it is. It's such a long off season, especially for the players and coaches. You think of like all those mat drills and getting up at 6 a.m. and you could tell this week, there's just that hop in the step. It's like this is what it's all about, and it's great. So it's going to be a great weather day tomorrow too. So that's nice.
It is. Need to ask you, we played this game to get things started off. Needs and wants for tomorrow, the UTEP for Nebraska. What's 2 or 3 needs? What do you need to see tomorrow?
You need to see sturdy tackling right off the bat. I think in week 1 or 2 of a football season especially, it's the one thing that can be an equalizer for an underdog if the favorite doesn't tackle as they can. If you have those leaky yards. Nebraska was exceptional in how they tackled in the opener last season. It really stood out how they played against Minnesota. So we'll see if they can back that up. But that's the one type of thing that could let UTEP into this game tomorrow. Of course, the other thing is turnovers. It's been talked about ad nauseum around here. But when it's a team that had 31 of them last year and only 14 takeaways, that remains like a priority subject until proven otherwise. And then, of course, the other thing is just Dylan Raiola and the composure that he can have in his first start. Obviously, there's going to be butterflies and all that, but the nice thing for him is he's got a good receiving core and it's a lot of working parts around him that I think should ease him into it. Although they don't want to ease him into it, I should say. Matt Rule said that this week.
Let me pose a hypothetical to you, Brian, before we get into your wants list, some of those cherry on top things you want to see tomorrow. You talked about the turnovers. If Nebraska were to say turn it over 2-3 times, but the defense generates 4 takeaways, what's your reaction? You're positive in the turnover differential, but it still doesn't look great offensively with those turnovers. What would your reaction be?
My reaction's positive if Nebraska's positive in that category because we've so rarely seen it. So however you draw that up, that works in Nebraska's favor, and they probably win the game, honestly, if they're even or better. I mean, you know how these things go. Where you get yourself in trouble in a contest like this is if you go like -2 or -3, and sometimes even with that, you need like that pick six the other team gets on you. That's like a 10 or 14 point swing, and then it gets everybody nervous in the stadium. So that's the one real thing they have to avoid. But to the scenario you laid out, no, it's not ideal if Nebraska turned it over 3 times, but you'd probably take the net result of that.
All right, Brian, let's move forward here and discuss your wants list. What do you want to see from Nebraska tomorrow against UTEP, especially considering what's going to be in town next weekend with Colorado?
You want to see the corners live up to what we think they can be, and I'm talking mainly Tommy Hill and Marquise Buford, who's in kind of a different spot than we've known him. He's been more of a safety in games as far as we've seen. So that's interesting, especially as you watch Colorado last night. And obviously CU has their warts, but they have a couple freaks on the outside, and Travis Hunter's one of them. So you want to see Nebraska's DBs pretty locked in this game, tackling well in space and covering well. I think the other thing with that is you want that 4-man rush that Rule's talked about ever since the spring. They didn't think they were good enough at that last year, and it's got to be something where they can get home without having to be too exotic. So you want to see like Jamari Butler get in there and Cam Lenhart and Princewell and guys like that. So those are some of the things that come to mind. On offense, I would say you just want to see a rhythm, like in the short to intermediate passing game. Like some of those passes that should be layups, you hope are layups tomorrow, and they hit them. And you give like some of your receivers a chance to catch it on the run and make some plays and not have it be where the ball's at their shoelaces and plays get blown up because you're off on your timing. So that's going to be kind of one of the specific things I'd be looking for tomorrow.
Brian Christopherson with us, Hail Varsity Radio Road Show Friday here off Lincoln Road and Highway 370, the Gretna Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill patio show #1 for this fall. Follow BC on Twitter at Huskers247BC. So I'm going to get to Colorado last night. Your first impressions of them Buffs. I was mesmerized at a simple pass turning into a house call. I mean, it was incredible to watch, man, to see what Shedeur did, what their receiving core. I like Jimmy Horn a lot. Travis Hunter's nuts. I mean, they were fun. That was a fun ball game last night. What'd you take away?
Yeah, I think they were about what I expected they would be. You know, that they have those like 3 headline players basically, where it's Shedeur, obviously Travis Hunter, and I'd throw Jimmy Horn in there too. Mm-hmm. He had a big night for him, and they got a couple other receivers that are dangerous, but those are the main 3 that stick out. Now, across the board, I would say they're still kind of a mediocre outfit. Like I saw situations where I was like, I think Nebraska can really get a pass rush against these guys if everybody's dialed in and Nebraska's pass rush is what people hope it is. Because I did think there were times when North Dakota State was frankly getting in there on Shedeur, and he was kind of backtracking like 20 yards in the backfield. So we'll see. I mean, he might make some plays like that next week in Lincoln where he pulls something out of his hat, but you also wonder if in a setting like that, if Nebraska can force him into some mistakes. So I thought their defense was leaky. I thought North Dakota State maybe rotated the QBs a little bit too much, and I don't know if that cost them in the end. But I still feel good about Nebraska's chances, but you do have to respect that they got like 2 or 3 headline guys that can make an okay team really dangerous if those guys catch fire.
It's Brian Christopherson with us here, Hail Varsity Radio. And Brian, do you see parallels? I mean, I kind of see it a little bit between what Coach Prime wants to do at Colorado and what Scott Frost wanted to do at Nebraska in terms of like being a team that can go out there and out-talent the other team. Are they cleaned up in all facets? No, not necessarily, but for the most part, they have more talent than the teams they're going to be playing. Is that kind of the feel that you get as well?
He might be going for that a little bit, but I'm still skeptical of that team in the trenches. And I think a big part of that game next week when we get to it, and we'll talk that one to death next week, but it's going to be, can Nebraska kind of control the ball on them, keep them off the field. And North Dakota State was really doing well at that in the first half. And I think the Huskers could be capable of that as well. So I see a lot of opportunities for Nebraska. It wasn't like I watched the game last night and was like, oh man, Colorado's way more than I thought they would be. I thought their headline guys played like headline guys, and I thought their warts kind of showed up as well. And I'll tell you this, if Colorado comes into Lincoln next week and wins, I'll be the first to tip my hat, because I think it's going to be one of the most hostile road environments you could walk into in college football. I just think the place is going to be on fire for that game.
Brian, to bring this back to Nebraska, you talk about the headline guys for Colorado. Name me a couple guys. Let's leave Dylan Raiola off the table because that's too easy. That's too obvious. But who are some guys that you think are going to be headline guys for Nebraska in this game tomorrow specifically?
You could pick one of like 3 or 4 receivers, but I'll start with Jamal Banks because he earned the single digit, and I think you just got to respect how his peers have already really feel strongly attached to him to give him that honor. He's such a big-bodied receiver. I think he can be kind of a security blanket and really help Nebraska in the red zone. I was looking at their red zone, numbers just today, and the Huskers really struggled to put it in the end zone when they got inside the 20. So I think Jamal Banks, Thomas Fidone, Isaiah Nayor, those are going to be really key guys for Raiola down there. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you could obviously say Nash or Jamari, but I was thinking about this recently the last few days. Ty Robinson has had a good Husker career, but what if a guy like him is great, like his last year? What if he takes that step and is just a menace and it's just a complete another level? I don't think he was fully healthy a season ago. I believe he is this year. And so he's a guy who, if he really turns it on and kind of makes that jump that Nash did last year, that defensive front becomes really nasty, and they're already pretty good on paper.
Does Ty kind of just go off with this last rodeo? That's a fantastic point, and he's been waiting for it. Nebraska fans been waiting for it, and he's got help on the line. He's got the cavalry behind him as well, as deep and talented as that line is. BC, about 90 seconds here, 30-plus visitors for tomorrow for Nebraska on the recruiting front. Christian Jones, let's talk about him with Westside. What's your viewpoint in this chase for the talented linebacker?
I think Nebraska's right there. It's not an easy fight. Christian, I think, has been open to other opportunities. I don't think he's always been one of those guys who's just like, okay, he's in the state. He's obviously Nebraska's. Sometimes you will have a case like that where I can tell off the first interview with the kid. It's like, okay, it's just a matter of when he commits. I've never really necessarily felt that with Christian. That doesn't mean I haven't thought Nebraska could land him or can land him. But, every time they get him here around this staff and this program and how they do things, it's useful, even though he's right down the road. So it's more of a local flavor tomorrow, of course. But there's a lot to be said for that. You kind of have this weekend where you get a lot of local guys, maybe some 20, 26 type recruits in too. And then next week, there could be a little bit more of a who's who outside our bubble. That I can understand why you want those kids in Lincoln that weekend. Cause as I said before, I think it's just going to be an atmosphere that's tough to match anywhere else.
Brian Christopherson with us, Hail Varsity Radio. Roadshow Friday here, Lincoln Road and Highway 370. The Gretna location. Come by and check us out 4 to 6. BC, we're going to have to drag you out for a patio show sometime soon, my friend. Just incredible weather, and appreciate you checking in. We'll see you in the press box tomorrow, bud. All
right, that sounds good. Yeah, let's do that soon.
All right, bud. There he is, Brian Christopherson. Follow him on Twitter at Husker247. BC, what did Prime say about last night? Hail Varsity continues, powered by Cornhead Lager.
Hi, this is Connor Clark, voice of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. On Friday, the Dogs take on Winnipeg. Airtime is at 6:30.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Do you feel like it's almost impossible to lose weight on your own? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and we know the secret to losing weight and keeping it off long-term without drugs or injections. At Lincoln Weight Loss, many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two with our support staff and accountability. And we do that without prepackaged meals, no exercising, no hormones, no injections, drugs, or surgery. Go to LincolnWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Schmidt here. By now, you know I'm a real believer in Lincoln Weight Loss. How could I not be? What is so awesome is the natural energy I have now. It keeps me motivated to stick with the plan. I highly encourage you to check them out. To learn about this great program, go to LincolnWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation. Their staff will walk you through the entire program, talk about your health goals, and see if it's a good fit for you. Call 402-520-8170 or go to LincolnWeightLoss.com.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Getting behind the wheel after drinking could change your world. Bobby here had a great time at the party and thought he was good to drive home. Now, Bobby's facing jail time, an upset wife, disappointed parents, and up to a $10,000 fine. It only takes one bad decision to change your world forever. Getting behind the wheel after you've been drinking is one of them. Drive sober or get pulled over. Learn more at NHTSA.gov. That's NHTSA.gov. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Get the hard truth from someone who's seen it from the inside.
Hail Varsity Radio is live. Now, back to Schmitty.
Schmitty's a great guy, but he don't have a brain.
And Elijah.
You want me to speak? When I point you, yeah.
On Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hail Varsity Roadshow Friday here, the first of many patio shows. We are out here on the patio. It's awesome here, Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, 370 in Lincoln Road, where we're at here at Gretna. We've got the balloons behind us, and we didn't commandeer a tank. I don't know how they were blown up. The old helium.
Someone had the worst morning at work ever, just sitting around blowing up balloons for an hour and a half.
At least we did not require balloon animals, right? you hyena.
I can make a dog, kind of.
Can you?
Yeah. My mom back in the day was she worked at Amigos and she had to do the balloon animals.
Really?
So, yeah.
Junior was he always wanted. I think it was some sort of like tiger or bear or something as a balloon animal. I don't know. As a kid, I just said, "Look, dude, it's going to get popped in 2 seconds."
Yeah, no,
never happens.
I have a bad memory of we went to Val's Buffet and I got a balloon animal. And then we went to the job site with my dad after that. He had to check on something. Yeah. No, drop that thing on the ground once in a job site. Way too many sharp objects around. It's a bad day for 5-year-old Elijah. Still remember that distinctly. But speaking of this beautiful patio show here.
We have 3 fire pits staring in front of us. They're high tops. Fire pit to your left. Will's glaring at us in the studio.
Well, Will, how about this for an idea? Let's all get together. Schmitty, me, you, Hooksy. Let's make this studio over there at KFOR open air. Let's take a wall out.
No.
Put a fire pit in.
I'm objecting.
Fire pit? Huh?
No.
Yeah, Will? Yeah,
no.
I think Will likes the idea.
I don't know. Trains are a thing, and that the one that goes right by the studio probably wouldn't do good for our shows.
You're worried about the trains? I'm worried about the 14 active meth labs behind the fence.
Good idea. Yeah. That could be fun.
No offense if you live in the trailer behind the wall, but I mean, it just always smells a little funky about 6:05 when I'm walking out the door.
Where you were live studio guest here, it's Meth Head Craig with us.
That could be good content. Let's not sleep on that.
Craig used broken glass to carve Go Big Red into his right arm.
It's his game day superstition.
Something like that. We were talking needs and wants, and who went off the top rope here in the stream with needs and wants? It was Eat Beef. Eat Beef says need Husker win, want feet pics from Elijah.
Yeah, let's go find this. That was pretty good. There it is.
Just Eat Beef's been consistent.
It's been months now. He's been trying. He or she, I should say. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Not enough tips just yet.
No, or ever. Let's ask the question, though, as we turn our attention to what really is kind of maybe in the forefront of your mind. If you're a Nebraska fan, yes, you want to see the opener. Yes, you want to get game one out of the way with a win. But let's be straight, man. It's Colorado week already, maybe right now, because of what you saw last night. First impressions of Colorado. Wow. That's my word with their passing game. They turned the ordinary or normal, what's a normal 7-yard out, into a 30-yard yak touchdown after the catch.
Well, I'm wow with 3 guys.
I know. And
it's Shadur, it's Travis Hunter, and it's Jimmy Horn. Those 3 guys make you go wow.
They do, and can 3 beat 11.
Well, but that's what I said. That's why, to me, tackling is so big of a need. You have to be ready to go from a tackling perspective tomorrow because of what's coming to town next week. Like all those long touchdowns for Colorado,
they were preventable.
They were preventable with a good tackle. And we saw North Dakota State. I understand you're playing better athletes. And sometimes whenever you look and you say, oh, that's Travis Hunter, you lose your technique because you're thinking, that guy's incredible. I got to do something special here. Trust your training. Trust yourself. This Husker team's been repping tackling in spring, in fall. I mean, really, since Matt Rule showed up, if this team can trust their training, I don't think it's as big an issue against Nebraska. But we saw North Dakota State not playing like themselves, specifically in the secondary yesterday.
They were out-athleted a lot.
But then you have moments of bad angles. You have moments of not trusting your training on tackling, and your head's behind the guy, and he's able to squirt away and go 40 yards down the sideline. Like,
well, it was just rough with Hunter's first touchdown. That was a 40-yard catch, and then 30 yards after where he just weaved his way. And I'll say this about Shedeur, man. The guy got hit a lot. He was a pinata last night, and he stood in. He took the hit, made some incredibly accurate throws, and you are on point with the guy being a step or two slow, and then the reinforcements taking that bad angle, specifically the safety. What you've always seen with Mr. White, Tony, you've always seen 3 or 4 or 8 Huskers around a ball carrier, be it in the secondary, be it at the second level at the linebacker, or the rugby scrum that is the line of scrimmage. The reality is this. Colorado's O-line still is going to allow pressure. It's still going to allow hits and heat, and it's going to be a long season for them if they don't get better. They'll also presumably get better from game 1 to game 2, but Nebraska is the unknown right now because you have not seen anything from Nebraska against a live opponent. You get to make your reservations and thoughts post UTEP and then kind of do some math, what you think can happen against Colorado. Let's hear from Prime real quick. He wasn't a happy dude after the ball game last night.
Some of you got upset that we got a W. Some of you, I'm really mad that we didn't get the L. So God bless you all. You have to wait again till next week. God bless you.
Was that it?
No,
that was cut 1. We get to cut 2.
We got the other one coming right now. Here you go.
Yeah, this is Prime.
You
because the guys that you have that are getting after
you won, but you didn't win. It's almost like we had more points than they did. Giving up the last touchdown on the run, that bothered me because we pride ourselves on going to get the quarterback, and we have a multitude of young men that can go get the quarterback, and we didn't get that done. But I'm thankful. I'm happy we got the W. Miss Peggy's one step closer to the dream and the vision that we have for her, as well as I think 31 NFL scouts are on hand tonight, and I think they saw what they came to see. So let's move on from there. I'm going to try my best to hold back my anger, but we got the W, so I'm happy.
So, can I say really fast?
Did they try and cover, or did Shedeur just middle finger his OC in the last 2 minutes of the ball game?
Oh, I think they tried to cover. I think they tried to cover. I think Prime knows his buddies are betting, but that's just unsubstantiated.
Wow.
I will say I do actually respect Prime there.
Lawsuit.
One thing I will say is what I saw from that team last night was a team of 22 guys all playing for themselves, not playing for the guy next to them. I do like that Coach Deion did in fact say playing for Miss Peggy, the Colorado superfan that kind of represents the fan
older
base
woman,
to them, the older woman.
She's cool.
I do like him leading with that. And I know it's not a great time to give compliments to Deion Sanders. I shouldn't be doing that right now. Not
better
in Nebraska.
now than next week.
But I do actually, if you're trying to get that team playing right, it's about playing for something other than yourself. And so many of those guys that look like are playing for themselves. They're playing for their NFL dreams. They're playing for clicks, whatever you want to say. I do like the mentality of the coach saying, hey, we're playing for the fan base around here and the pained fan base, such as Miss Peggy.
Well, and he grabbed the mic afterwards. We'll wind down hour 1 here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill in Gretna with Hail Varsity.
strategy, action. Here at the National Postal Forum, it's all on display with the United States Postal Service.
There is really a renewed energy at the Postal Service.
Sheila Holman, Vice President of Marketing, says it's time to take advantage of easy and affordable services.
We're reliable. Everyone's looking to reduce their costs of shipping. We can be a great solution for that.
Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Hi, this is Jason Ball, President and CEO of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. I want to tell you briefly about a new business in collaboration with the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development. CareerPathway.com is a website that gives employers a new way to look for talent to fill jobs and information to students about career opportunities and training. This tool was created by local entrepreneur Bo Jones and is now available for free for students and employers. It's not just a job search site. CareerPathway.com helps companies share real-world career knowledge with students and job seekers to find their path to success. This partnership has been supported by the City of Lincoln, Lincoln Public Schools, Southeast Community College, and the American Job Center of Lancaster and Saunders counties, and many local Lincoln businesses. For more information for job seekers or for businesses looking to get involved, head to CareerPathway.com. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
Franz and ABC News.
Everyone on the road is trying to make it to their destination safely. You can help by staying aware of the large trucks and buses around you. They take longer to stop, have large blind spots, and make wide turns that require caution from other drivers. It takes all of us working together to share the road safely. Learn more at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov. Paid for by FMCSA.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, winding down hour one, Hail Varsity Radio Roadshow Friday here, the first of many patio shows at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Find the show on YouTube, Hail Varsity YouTube, Hail Varsity Radio Twitter, along the Hail Varsity Radio Network. But get here in person. The patio is spacious and comfortable. A few folks over in the corner there having a cold beer. Elijah and I made sure the Cornhead Lager was up to chill level. It was very tasty to get going. And you're invited out. Still an hour to go here. Hour two. Bill Doleman coming up. Clausborne, he is imaginary. He wears red. And the Friday forecast gets going in less than an hour. So we told you all the goodness you can get at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. The appetizers are incredible. Salads, pasta, wings, pizza. Pizza, the way to go. What's the deal breaker? The deal breaker is if you say no to boom boom sauce. You got to do that. You got to get the sauce, man. You got to get the sauce. But when we talk pizza, if you're not a Black Olive fan, we can't be friends.
Fan? Do I have to be a fan?
I think it enhances a lot of pizza.
Can I be a neutral observer on the Black Olives and just say if they're on there, I'm fine with them. If they're not on there, I'm fine with it. Can I be neutral? Is that okay?
You can be neutral. You can be Switzerland. That's fine.
Absolutely. I'm like Switzerland in World War II. Neutral.
Fine. But I think
the look on Will's face.
Anchovies are brutal.
Oh, yeah. No, anchovies is the make or break. First off, I have never, ever once in my life seen a case where any sort of fish belonged on pizza. No. Like, there's no scenario in my mind where I'm like, yeah, add that fish to pizza. That's not right.
Fair. What we got the Cockadoodle Moo Burger here. That's beef, bacon, pepper jack, jalapenos, aioli, fried egg.
Yes. Say less.
I mean, that's the way to go.
That's everything you need on a burger.
It is.
As long the yolk has to be runny on your burger.
Yes, it does. And are you kicking this person out if they use a knife, or are you just okay with it because of the yolk and the runniness, the messiness?
I mean, if you're using a knife, now you're just ruining that heart. You want to bite into the yolk, don't you?
Right, but I mean, your fried egg is going to run all over the rest of your burger.
Yeah. If you're using a knife, you're ruining. That's the one best bite is whenever you first break the yolk.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then if it's so big, you got to chop her up. We'll weigh in here. Bruised 007 says black olives are trash. You're wrong. Black Hills Tracy, black olives are about as good as Iowa's offense. Man, Tracy, thought we were cool.
we have comments in there. Pineapple, fine on pizza. I enjoy it.
And we're not trying to get out of, it's football in less than 24 hours, but you're going to order a pie. You're going to sit down and watch football this year. And what is going to you're going to pull a Costanza. I'm out. And gone. That was Kramer, excuse me. But you know what I'm saying.
The number one is anchovies.
Yeah. Will, where are you weighing in?
My deal breaker is it has to be well done. I need my cheese brown.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
how I like it.
The crust crispy.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Are we thin crust or thick?
I like thin.
Okay.
I like it all, man.
Yeah. Pan's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pan's pretty good. Junior can hammer some pizza over at Lazari's. We'll be back with you, Bill Doleman, Hour 2, Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, Gretna Patio Show at Hail Varsity.
The best backyard barbecue. When you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Meet Brian. He just got $5,000, and it was pretty easy. I'll tell you how in 10 seconds. Brian needed cash help. After being rejected by banks, he tried 27cash.com, told them how much he needed, even let them know he had bad credit. In minutes, 27cash.com found a lender who deposited $5,000 into his bank account the very next day. If you need cash help, even if you have bad credit, go to 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the award-winning and revolutionary online learning program that's changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Designed by teachers and early childhood learning experts, ABC Mouse seamlessly aligns with what your child is already learning in school. And with over 7,000 learning activities and more than 650 lessons, it's the most comprehensive early learning site on earth.
I have been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen a program like ABC Mouse. It encompasses science, math, reading, social studies.
It's just endless what they can learn on ABC Mouse. I've always had to use 20 websites, and now I can just use one.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio, abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
This is your station for local news, talk, sports, and weather. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson.
Hello, Pennsylvania. How are we doing, Pennsylvania?
Former President Trump in Johnstown, Western Pennsylvania. Before that, in a Fox News interview, Mr. Trump, a Florida resident, says he'll be voting no on Election Day on a Florida Constitution amendment that would enshrine in the state constitution abortion access up to fetal viability. In a reversal, the former president is expected to campaign for reproductive rights. ABC's Terry Moran in Johnstown.
People who are single-issue voters on that, who've worked for decades to overturn Roe versus Wade. They want to see no abortions in the United States. And here is their champion, the guy who appointed the 3 justices who overturned Roe versus Wade, flip-flopping all the way to the other side.
Harris Wall's campaign launching a reproductive freedom bus tour across battleground states. Millions of Americans are traveling by air and on the roads. ABC News business correspondent Alexis Christopherson.
Labor Day is not July 4th. It's not Thanksgiving weekend. So travel will be big, but not as big as those weekends. Lots of kids are back at school, right? But it's worth saying some of these numbers. 17 million plus expected to fly through Wednesday. That's up 8.5% from last year. Most of these trips are domestic, by the way. 2.8 million expected to fly today alone.
New Jersey reporting 6 new West Nile virus cases today, including 2 deaths, both among older adults. This follows reports yesterday of 2 deaths in Wisconsin. West Nile's partly spread by mosquito bites. NHL player Johnny Gaudreau and his younger brother were killed on the eve of their sister's wedding, hit by a suspected drunken driver while riding bicycles in their home state of New Jersey, police say. ESPN hockey reporter Emily Kaplan.
One of the awards that he did win in the NHL was the Lady Byng Award. That's typically given to the player that has the best on-ice production, but also takes the less penalties. It's for gentlemanly play.
You're listening to ABC News.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Searching for a missing woman. Hello, I'm Will Wilson. It's 81 degrees at KFOR. Another effort from Lincoln Police to getting the word out about a missing woman. On Thursday night, LPD put out a message on social media for the public's help in finding 30-year-old Jerica Hamry, who hasn't been seen or heard from since June 25th at her home near 35th and Huntington. Hamry is 5'1", 245 pounds with brown eyes, brown hair, and wears glasses. Police believe she disappeared under suspicious circumstances. Contact LPD at 402-441-6000 or Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600. A crash Thursday evening just south of Lincoln leads to an arrest for second offense DUI. Lancaster County Chief Deputy Sheriff Ben Houchin says a flatbed truck being driven by 34-year-old Jeremy DeJess of Lincoln ended up on its side near 54th and Bennett Road, and fuel was leaking. When deputies arrived, Houchin said they could smell a strong odor of alcohol coming from DeJess's breath. A blood draw was done, but the blood alcohol content hasn't been determined.
But there was enough indicators that he was highly intoxicated. He was lodged anyway.
Houchin says DeJess was treated for a cut on his head. 4 cases of counterfeit bills being used across Lincoln between August 22nd and 27th have police busy trying to trace where the fake money is coming from.
We're just encouraging everyone to check their cash closely for signs of counterfeit bills. If you notice that something isn't right, please call to file a report.
That's LPD Public Information Manager Erica Thomas. Call 402-441-6000 or Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600 to report any counterfeit money. AAA Nebraska's Public Affairs Specialist Brian Ortner says this weekend, if you've had too much to drink and a ride arrangement doesn't work out, you can utilize their Tow-to-Go program. It's available to AAA members and non-members.
AAA offers this program to make sure drivers have no excuse for driving under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or impairing medications over the holiday weekend.
A tow truck is dispatched to transport the vehicle and its owner to a safe location within a 10-mile radius. Cleared tonight with a low near 52. I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News.
Have you heard the news today?
Kamala Harris puts her first interview in the rearview mirror. Donald Trump says the 6-week abortion ban is too short and promises free IVF to those who need it. They both now gear up for the January 10th debate, with or without muted mics.
You'll know everything when you stay connected.
News that affects you. On air and on demand, 24/7. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Keep up with the local news, sports, your favorite talk shows, and pro shows on KFOR wherever you roam. Stream us 24/7 at KFORnow.com or on your mobile. You can download the free iHeart or TuneIn app and stream KFOR on the go.
The following is a paid program. He's the pride of Fairbury, an average Joe. Bill Doleman, the professor.
I had a 6 ACT in 1967. One time I got an A and my grandma beat me for cheating.
Now with Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with your Road Show Hour 2. Hail Varsity here at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, Gretna location off Lincoln Road. Bill Doleman, much like Will Wilson, chained to the office. It is breezy. It is beautiful. It is sunny out here on the patio. It's spacious. We are rubbing it in. Bill, you're staring me down. How are we doing on a Friday?
Well, I thought you said like Will Wilson, devilishly handsome. But, yeah, we're chained to the office. I get it. Kindred spirits. Schmidt froze. He's just a frozen statue right there.
Yeah. And Elijah, I think we lost you too.
Guess it's the the Will and Bill show.
Yeah, Bill, how's it going? You look great.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll text Elijah to see what's going on up there. Happy game day or happy game Friday, Bill.
Yeah, finally. I think these guys have talked about it. We talked about it on the Average Joe Sports Show. This is the most anticipated home opener, season opener that since the Scott Frost debut against Akron. And we all know how that turned out. And it turned out to be basically an entire metaphor for the Scott Frost era at Nebraska. And that, the game gets canceled because of a downpour and the storms lasted for another 4 years or so. Right. Yeah. So I don't, we're supposed to have a beautiful day in Lincoln. And I think that given what we have learned over the last couple of years about Matt Rule and Matt Rule's organization, the players have been brought in, the way the players have bought in, there's every reason to believe that we're not going to have the same kind of metaphor develop, that being thunderclouds and a downpour for 5 years, much like the 4-year case of the flu lasted back in the early 2000s. So with that said, I think I have filibustered long enough that maybe, just maybe, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel have decided to rejoin their show so I don't have to carry him for another week.
Bill Doleman's back has been hurting for years.
Unexpected power outages sometimes occur.
Power surge,
something like that.
We're near a bunch of balloons. No whippets. Okay. I mean,
Here's the deal. 2 guys ordered 6 drinks and they couldn't figure out a way to bring them back to the table. So they powered down so they could go get them and bring them back, then reconnect. So go ahead, boys.
No, I mean, listen.
We're about to go Deion on you and ban you from asking questions about us after this.
And Bill's like, great, I can go have fun on Fridays now.
I can leave the office.
Yeah. Bill's sticking around he's doing time for us is what he's doing. But come on, get the number right. 6. we're above 6.
Hey,
it might be
good for us.
Might be 6 in, but anyway.
6, you're right. Bill, let's get into the topic du jour. Needs and wants for tomorrow. My need is health. My want is 200 on the ground. Pretty simple that way. Where are you at here? Need for Nebraska football tomorrow. Want for Nebraska football tomorrow.
Need is to hold on to the football. I think I said maybe last week, and I said on Average Joe earlier this week, which people can see on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast, the Average Joe Sports Show. Look, I'm willing to give them a B in terms of turnovers. You're going to get hit. There's going to be somebody coming in that's going to pop you. It happens. Fumble. But you can't have a quarterback who can't handle the snap back from center and have it hit your hands and then lay on the turf and then somebody else picks it up. So, I mean, that's the most fundamental aspect of football, right? So you can't have those lack of fundamentals and attention to detail. And I think that's most highlighted in the turnover game. But if let's say Dylan lets one sail a little bit, or receiver breaks off a pattern and there's a pick. Okay, if Nebraska has 2 turnovers in the game, I think that's a B, as long as they're not costly. I want the kicking game to not be a stress point for Nebraska. And again, I think I said this last week, perhaps. Nebraska has to rely on its kicking game, and I'm talking about PATs and field goals. Those need to be insurance points and not your primary points, right? You can't be driving down the field and being unproductive inside the 20, inside the 10, and you settle for 3. That's got to be when you're up by 14-0 or 14-7. You get a field goal to go up by 2 scores. You cannot be relying on the foot of Tristan Albano or whomever his backup is going to be for your primary point production. I think Buschini's going to have a good season as the punter. He had some inconsistencies last year, but I think he's been a good Husker. I look for him to be good, and I think that Nebraska has a couple of options in the return game, so that it's not just let's go find the most sure-handed person to fair catch the ball. I think we're beyond that now. You've got Garcia Castaneda, perhaps, Ja'Cory Barney. I think you're going to have a return game that's going to get you perhaps double-digit yards per return on average. So I think we're looking at an improved game in that regard. Points cannot be primarily off of the kicking game. And you can't miss extra points. Oh my God, you can't miss an extra point. So that's my one. The kicking game is insurance, and you need to hold on to the ball.
Bill, what's your reaction to Matt Rule announcing earlier this week it's going to be a 2-kicker system most likely for Nebraska on Saturday, with Hull handling some of the longer stuff, Alvano handling some of the shorter stuff? It doesn't strike me. I don't know. I've never been filled with confidence by any team that's rolling with a 2-kicker setup or a 2-quarterback setup or anything like that. It doesn't
4 running backs.
It doesn't fill me with confidence to be like, yeah, well, we have one guy to do the longer stuff, one guy to do the shorter stuff. It's almost like if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. I think it's the same with kickers. If you have 2 kickers, that means you don't have a kicker.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that wholeheartedly. I see your point, but I do think if you have somebody that has a stronger leg that may be more accurate from distance, okay, you rely on that. If you've got somebody like if Albano was better from 35 in, okay, but if you got to have somebody who's going to give you a shot from 50 yards plus, and you feel more confident with a guy with a stronger leg, then I don't mind the 2-kicker system. The quarterback system, that's a rhythm thing. And I think we saw that last night with North Dakota State. It was nice to see Peyton get in there, but Miller was, terrific. And they take him out, and I think that was disruptive a little bit. I don't think you have the same disruption if you use 2 different kickers. And look, and maybe somebody emerges as the season goes on. Maybe Albano, he's had some injuries. Maybe that's why he's limited in terms of distance and accuracy. But maybe as the season goes on, somebody emerges and you do have one guy. I'm not as concerned about that necessarily as if I'd had to have 2 quarterbacks and don't know which one to play.
Bill, I'm going to go to Colorado in a moment. And you've given us your needs. Is there a want? Is there 307?
I lost Schmidt again. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. A little bit of a delay there. Your want with Nebraska tomorrow. What do you want for Dylan Raiola in this first start?
I don't want him to feel the pressure that he has to win the game, because he's got a lot of quality players around him. Whether you have 4 running backs, we're all going to get 7 carries in the game. Okay. But he has, I think, receivers he can rely on. I think Jamal Banks and Isaiah Neyor are 2 of the best collegiate acquisitions of the offseason. and he's going to benefit from having those guys. So he does not have to be perfect tomorrow. I want him to enjoy the nervousness, the excitement, because when he gets into the second half of the season and into the second, third, fourth years of his career at Nebraska, it's going to be old hat. Tomorrow is a special day for him personally. And I want him to enjoy it being the nerves and jittery and the excitement of it, because this is what he's been waiting his whole life for, to be the starting quarterback at Nebraska. Yeah, he went to Ohio State. Yeah, Georgia, flirted with others. But this is where the Raiola family wants him to be, and he's representing them and his culture, his heritage, and the state of Nebraska. So I want him to enjoy it. And if he hits, 17 of 29 or 30 passes for 205 yards, fine. That's a nice day at the office. And Nebraska wins. His confidence is there, and he's ready to go for week 2.
Bill, I think it's hard in a week 1, in a tune-up type game where you are expecting Nebraska to win and to win solidly. At least that's what the Vegas number would lead you to believe. I think it can be hard to evaluate quarterback performance in a game like that and really understand what a quarterback brings. So in terms of eye test, what do you want to see from Dylan Raiola? Because there could be a scenario where Nebraska jumps all over UTEP early and you're not even throwing the ball in the second half, and you look at the stats and you go, oh, Dylan Raiola was 11 for 14 for 102 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Those stats don't jump off the page necessarily, but there could be eye test in there that passes your test. What are you looking for from an eye test point of view with Dylan Raiola? What do you want to see in terms of you kind of laid out the poise and the confidence?
Look, there are going to be 95,000 professors grading his test tomorrow at Memorial Stadium. Nebraska fans know what competent quarterback play is, even though we're maybe fairly new still to this pro-style offense, but Nebraska fans know if he's passing the eye test or not. We could look back a year ago to Minnesota and Colorado and watch the quarterback play, and as the ball's laying on the carpet and the passes are getting overthrown, we know that's not good quarterback play. That's not good football play. Nebraska was not getting it last year. So for him, look, are your passes, crisp? Are you running when you need to? Are you running smartly, efficiently, getting out of bounds, moving the chains, seeing your reads, checking down, all of that stuff? Nebraska fans are going to know if he looks good and if he plays well. And they're also probably going to see times where he looks like a true freshman, and that might be early on, right? But Nebraska's going to – Marcus Satterfield and Glenn Thomas and Matt Rule are going to give him every opportunity to succeed and every opportunity for him to work through whatever jitters he and all of the other freshmen that are going to be on the field, right? Carter Nelson's going to be a nervous kid tomorrow. Ja'Cory Barney's going to be nervous tomorrow. Let them enjoy the moment and let them work through that and have some success, because they're going to need that. They're going to need to get that out of their system, because next week's going to be a big week.
You led right in, big time moment a week from tomorrow. First things first, Bill Doleman, did the Buffs scare you at all last night?
Yeah. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Joe Horn are formidable. There's no question about it. That's a poised quarterback who's not afraid to launch it and trust his receivers to go make a play. That's something that Dylan Raiola has to know and has to learn. Trust those guys, Banks and Nayor, to go out, and Fedoni, to go out and make a play. He doesn't have to make the play for them. And Shedeur Sanders allows Hunter and Horn, and granted, they're special players, to go out and make plays. And now the caveat to that is, as good as North Dakota State is fundamentally, and one of the best football programs overall in terms of performance based at its relative level, they play a great game of football. But I'm guessing Nebraska's defense and pass rush are going to be a little bit different next week than what Sanders and company saw yesterday. And all that rebuilt the offensive line for Colorado, I'm thinking that Nash Hutmaker, Ty Robinson, Cam Lenhart, Jamari Butler, Deshaun Singleton, all of those guys are going to provide a little different game that they've got to get adjusted to that they didn't have to face last night against North Dakota State's defense, as good and physical as it was. Nebraska's just going to be that's going to be a different game.
What would Nebraska have to show you tomorrow on the field against UTEP? What would be the biggest sign of encouragement as you look ahead to Colorado? What one thing could they get done tomorrow on the field that would make you go, you know what? I like Nebraska's chances next week.
Lots of UTEP punts. Lots of UTEP punts. Lots of second down and longs. Okay. Whether it's second down and 7 or 17. Third down and 7. That to me is going to be a telltale sign as to how aggressive, how fast, how many players play, how fresh they are. I think that's the big sign. If you see UTEP punting 8 to 10 times tomorrow, mission accomplished for Nebraska's defense.
Bill Doleman, we need a prediction, Pride of Fairbury, before we say goodnight and trank dart you for post-game tomorrow.
Real quick, one more thing about Colorado. As I'm watching that game last night, Tommy Hill has an opportunity to make a whole lot of money as a professional football player next week, right? Because he will be one-on-one with Travis Hunter all night, and all eyes will be on that matchup. As for the prediction, you know me. I'm usually dead on with my picks. I said it the other day on Average Joe. I still believe these numbers. Nebraska 88-6.
Nebraska covers, says Bill Doleman.
Handily, but they are held just short of the Skurs by 90 moniker.
Okay, Skurs by 90. Bill Doleman, find him on Twitter at Bill Doleman.
UTEP will make a play.
Professor. Bill, we'll see you this weekend, bud. Appreciate you much.
See you, boys.
There he is, Bill Doleman with us, Hail Varsity Radio Roadshow here in Gretna at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Clausborne, 15 minutes away.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the award-winning and revolutionary online learning program that's changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Designed by teachers and early childhood learning experts, ABC Mouse seamlessly aligns with what your child is already learning in school. And with over 7,000 learning activities and more than 650 lessons, it's the most comprehensive early learning site on earth.
I've been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen a program like ABC Mouse. It encompasses science, math, reading, social studies.
It's just endless what they can learn on ABC Mouse. I've always had to use 20 websites, and now I can just use one.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio, abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen Saturday mornings to Start Moving with Rich Rodenberg from Coldwell Banker NHS Real Estate. He'll have all the hints to guide you through the process of buying or selling a home smoothly. Start Moving every Saturday morning at 9:30 right here on KFOR.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Seth emails in, Chris at hailvarsity.com. Dolman rules. Yes, he does. It's almost like he's saying O'Doyle rules. But, no, good stuff from Bill. We may commandeer Bill for part of the Real Red Reaction tomorrow. We are here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill in Gretna. Patio show. It's incredible. Packed house. Still a little bit of room on the patio. We have someone here that may release the fury on some wings. Good to bump into Mr. Mitch.
I thought you were talking about me.
No, I was not talking about you, but no, we're out here for home football Fridays up here in Gretna. Excited for it. A lot of folks, man. Gretna East taking on Seward tonight. That's just down the road. That's must-see football. Southwest and North Star in Lincoln and West Side and North last night after the delay got going. So pretty good high school football as always in the great state of Nebraska, this part of the state, central part of the state, western part of the state. It is that time of year. So we were asking, what's your deal breaker on pizza? Because that goes death, taxes, pizza, football, right? And Scott's like, Val's used to do a killer shrimp pizza. I'm going to say this, our boys at Lazari's, the Randy Ross, spicy chicken, the pepperoni, the cream cheese.
Most notably, no seafood.
Yes.
Seafood does not belong on pizza.
Oh.
No.
Tiger Shark shouting out Millard North. Cool.
Joel saying I look like a suburban dad. Okay, I thought I looked good today.
Well,
it kind of hurts. I spend too much time with you, I think, is the problem.
Why?
I'm just taking on your style. I got the Titleist hat. I was on the golf course this morning, to be fair.
Wish that was me.
See,
It's not.
I thought about it because I went home and I showered after golf.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I was like, well, if I already wore this outfit today, like, what's the point of getting more clothes dirty? Like, I wasn't sweaty. It was a nice, cool morning.
Earlier in the week.
Did you clean it before?
No.
Okay, whatever.
It's a 50-50 proposition when the bunny does the laundry, whether or not she will let me know, hey, a shirt that is highly likely to be wrinkled is done in the dryer.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's just crumpled in the corner, and it looks like I just woke up in it.
Joel clarifies, saying he himself is a suburban dad, so he thinks that's a great look. So it's a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to know.
Tip for you, by the way, Schmitty.
The new white balances?
No. The tip for you is if you have that shirt that's a little bit wrinkled, or it's prone to wrinkling, here's your tip. Get yourself like one of those water spray bottles. You don't even need to have it. Just get the shirt a little bit damp with that spray bottle, back into the dryer 3 minutes before you put it on. Wrinkles gone.
Okay, I did hang it up when I was showering. Steamed it that way.
Oh, that works too. Yeah, just that little bit of steam is all it needs. I've always found the water bottle, the squirt bottle, onto the shirt, into the dryer, 3 minutes, like it was never even wrinkled in the first place.
Tiger Shark says the white New Balances beat the boot ankle. Yes, they do. Tiger Shark, it also beats the beeping ankle bracelet, my friend.
Would you know?
No, I had a buddy, though. He couldn't leave all summer. We had to go visit him. I had a guy. Let's get into some Nebraska football. We've talked Buffs. We've talked Nebraska. And we've also got into needs and wants. Superstitions, right? Because you've got them. We've hit on the thought before. But what are you taking with you either into the stadium or the Husker watch party tomorrow that's part of your belief, hey, X will help Nebraska win tomorrow? I've long punted the win-loss, rabbit's foot, Joe Papa champion sweater, the throwback bars hat with the red end. That's what I had in college. Don't have them anymore. They've been retired. But that was pretty it. My one superstition was to shave before ball games. Now do I need to do it or not? Brent's Brett's superstition for Nebraska football is Patron.
I like this from 3
Pretty
plays.
good.
He's got the mini N helmet, the miniature Nebraska helmet that
By
he puts
his
next
TV.
to the TV. I like that one.
Okay.
In terms of superstitions, I think all of my superstitions have died in the past decade because I have found that
Nothing
works.
Yeah.
So it's a tough time to have superstitions for Husker football, but maybe now is the time to start some new ones.
I think a red beer with us at the Single Barrel tomorrow at 11:30 could be part of that. Will Wilson, do you have any, or do you see any when you're bartending? The folks roll in and they got to have the same drink at the same time. Is there a live chicken, or is there a bucket of chicken? Do you have a bottle in your bar area that is Jobu's rum? I mean, talk to me here. What have you witnessed from Nebraska fans the years you've been pouring drinks?
Yeah, a lot of Bloody Marys. Lots of Bloody Marys.
3 Putt says that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's part of it or not. One of my superstitions is I'm no longer betting Nebraska money line. That is just I feel like every time I bet Nebraska money line, it just goes the opposite way. I don't know if that's because of me or not. So I'm going to try that this season. See how that goes. Only betting the over.
Well, okay, one superstition my dad had, and this was more specific to
Oklahoma games
from Nebraska, Oklahoma. He'd bet on Oklahoma, but he'd pray that Nebraska won. And sometimes you had a Nebraska cover, sometimes you had a Nebraska win, and it was a win-win. You won the bet, you won the game. If it shook out that way, and didn't always happen with Switzer and company, and especially Elvis Bleeping Peacock. I believe Bleeping is his legal middle name. So that's one way to go about it. If you're into wagering tomorrow, get your butt to see our friends at Ameristar as well, because hey, they'll take your bet with Nebraska playing at home. But predictions are fun. We'll have those from Clausborne coming up. But from a superstition, Tiger Shark is in saying, I hope I don't pass out before the game starts. It's not necessarily a superstition. It's kind of a rule.
It could be a superstition, though. If you pass out, miss the game, Nebraska plays well, that could be a new superstition.
Has that ever happened?
No.
To you?
I think I've ever missed a Husker game.
No. Well, I'm saying pre-work, did you ever just go so hard you didn't make it? I had a buddy in college. Again, we're going, not me, but he got after it. This was the Southern Miss game in 99, and it was 4 billion degrees. Started in South Stadium, ended up in East Stadium, and Nebraska was trailing. I think they won that one 20-13. Julius Jackson, 2 touchdowns defensively. And somehow he woke up in East Stadium and Nebraska won.
He woke up in East Stadium?
But he passed out when Nebraska was down. Can't make it up.
Well, let's note one thing here, Schmidt. You asked before the radio days. I got hired by you in the radio station when I was 19. So as to not incriminate myself.
So I broke a lot of law with you.
As to not incriminate myself, no, I did not pass out before any Husker games before I started working with you.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know.
Brennan chimes in. You got to read that one.
My superstition is setting the toaster on the ledge of the bathtub just in case. I'm going to try that. I'm going to walk into the bathroom. Wife's getting ready. Got you a new toaster. Let's plug it in and see if it works. She's sweet. Will, you've got a thought bubble there. What are you thinking? The wheels are turning.
Well, I was just thinking it was funny. Just in case, just in case. Yeah.
Tiger Shark Diver did pass out before the Miami 2014 game, saying too many beer bongs in the res.
Well,
I think that was the last. I think that was the last. That was
the last
ever.
Hurrah.
Yeah.
It was the last hurrah for Miami. Let's not kid ourselves. I think next weekend is going to not only rival but surpass Miami 2014. Carnival-like atmosphere, blood in the water, and it's an on-par hated opponent. UTEP, not so much. You just want to see Nebraska take care of the football, complete a few passes, keep your freshman quarterback healthy, let him run and direct the offense, hand off the football to your 4 running backs about 64 times. See the defense get, 5 sacks, 3 turnovers, force 3 turnovers, and see a punt return go 12 yards.
It's maybe on the wants
day.
list to get back to wants and needs, but ultimate want here is start the season off with a game where Memorial Stadium does not reach that point in like the late third quarter, early fourth quarter, where it's the here we go again.
It's groaning.
The groaning, the this is not going well for Nebraska. That is the point where I think like that's something that could derail your whole season. Whenever you have the true freshman starting quarterback with all the hope and the hype, if you have that moment in the fourth quarter where the offense steps onto the field and all of Husker Nation collectively has that here we go again feeling, that permeates down to the field. The players on the field feel that. You can't have that in a first start for Dylan Raiola. So, I'm not going to say it encroaches upon a need for this game tomorrow, but ultimate want, go into halftime with a comfortable lead where you can go into halftime, diagnose some things, but not have the stressed feeling at halftime that has so many times in the last 10 years led to defeat for Nebraska at the end of the day. Somewhat comfortable is a big want for me because I don't want to see how Dylan Raiola responds whenever Memorial Stadium gets nervous.
At
least not yet.
It's a situation where you just want good football. You want competent decision-making. And just go out and do your thing. It really sounds simple, but this team and Rule's been battling this, man. He's had the old axe out trying to chop away at it. This concern what people say and think, and it's a thing. It's absolutely a thing for college football players, kids that are 18 to 22 years old. Some of them are older than that now, but that's something you got to overcome. But handle your business tomorrow. We'll be locked in for a pregame weekend edition, Hail Varsity. Time for the Saturday show tomorrow. You don't need to place your bets. Back to the gambling fix, 11:30. 11:30 to 1:30. You can hear us. You can watch us. We tell you to subscribe and like Hail Varsity YouTube, Hail Varsity Radio, Twitter, and podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Get it all downloaded. We're here at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. You can watch this patio show, the first of many. Is there a Saturday show tomorrow? Yes, Tiger Shark, there is. 11:30 to 1:30. Big Cat. A little bit of a delay in the YouTube. It's all good. No delay with the Friday forecast. Clausborne. He's imaginary. He wears red. He's next with Hail Varsity.
Football season is underway, and KFOR's coverage begins next Friday night as Lincoln Southwest takes on Lincoln Southeast. I'm Jeff Moats. You can join me for the play-by-play. Coverage begins at 6:50 right here.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Get everything for your next project at Menards and save big money. Enjoy a good night's sleep for less with a new Serta mattress. Shop today and save big. The better the mattress, the better the savings. Find the perfect mattress that fits your size and firmness needs at Menards. America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction, according to J.D. Power. Visit jdpower.com for details and menards.com for deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024, Bank of America, N.A.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable.
Stock up on everyday essentials at Menards and save big money. We're your one-stop shop for pet food and supplies. Blue Buffalo dog and cat food is made with real meat and natural ingredients that your pets will love. Save big on Blue Buffalo pet food at Menards, America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction, according to J.D. Power. Visit jdpower.com for details and menards.com for deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Bill.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hail Varsity Roadshow Friday here at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill in Gretna. The first patio show, and can catch it on YouTube, Hail Varsity YouTube, Hail Varsity Radio. That time we are back in forecast mode. He's imaginary. He wears red. It is the infamous Clausborne joining us here on Hail Varsity. Claus, how are we doing? Happy football.
Well, happy football to you and all who celebrate as well. I'm doing pretty good. We got one night down and 4 to go of some great college football action, so I'm looking forward to it.
Claus, what'd you think of Colorado last night before we get into our picks?
Well, for the second year in a row, Colorado becomes the college football embodiment of that Willy Wonka experience where there was a whole lot of hype, and then it turns out you show up to an empty warehouse with just one person doing anything. So that's pretty well how I felt about that game.
Were you rooting for the Buffs?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Claw's a little edgy here. Let's head on to Morgantown. The entire world was watching Pat McAfee, and that was glorious. Penn State rolls in -8. That is a dangerous ball game. West Virginia, Coach Brown, they got to a bowl game last year. I think it's too easy to say West Virginia in the upset. I think Penn State wins. I think they sweat a lot. 24-21. The Nittany Lions escape. Elijah.
The 8 number is tough. I think Penn State wins this football game. Morgantown's not an easy place to play. We know how juiced up that really the entire state of West Virginia is for this game. I think a little much too much Penn State. I love Singleton, the running back from Penn State. Aller didn't have the best year last year, but I still think he's a pretty talented quarterback. Give me Penn State to win this one, but I think it's going to be close, 31-24, a win, but no cover for the Nittany Lions.
Shine and couches are not safe.
If West Virginia wins.
Yeah, well, just in general. What do you say, Will? You going Mountaineers or Penn State?
I'll go Penn State. Give me Penn State 21-18.
Okay, 21-18. Claus, what are you thinking here? Penn State or West Virginia?
Well, I got to say, Christopher, I'm not too surprised that you picked Penn State in this one. A lot of people don't know, because it doesn't come up a lot, but Christopher has a well-known, amongst his friends, anti-West Virginia bias. You see, long before the bunny came around, Christopher was getting frisky with a gal from West Virginia, and her dad, brother, and cousin barged in the room, and good Lord, was he mad.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that twist.
Claus, thank you for that.
So proof that you've been with at least 2. But I would take West Virginia by 3, 24, and the Nittany Lions 21, the biggest upset of the weekend.
Okay. I would have lost money on this. I was thinking Ned Beatty or something. Anywho, Clemson, Georgia, the Dogs 13.5 favorites. Tough start for Dabo and company. Not only Georgia, but then NC State is looming. Georgia's just too good, and Clemson's not going to be a bad team this year. They might even get into the playoff, but I just think Georgia 42, Clemson 24. I think Georgia gets a cover by a little bit and is just too talented. Elijah.
Yeah, I think the Georgia offense might struggle early, but I think they're really going to pull away in this one. We've seen Georgia dominate other Power 4, Power 5 teams early in the season, plenty over the past 5 years or so. So give me Georgia to pull away late in this one and take home a win at 35-10.
Will, what do you say?
I'll go Georgia 38-17.
Claus, you going Clemson or you going Georgia?
This game is in Athens, or where is it?
I think it's Atlanta. I think it's a neutral site.
Either way, it's in Georgia, so it'll essentially be a home game for the Bulldogs, which is good because, as we've learned this offseason, they are incredibly dangerous on the road. I think Georgia wins this ball game. I think Georgia wins this ball game. I don't want to be exactly the same as Christopher, so I'll take Georgia 45 and Clemson 28.
Oh, wow. Let's go down to Psychoville, where Finkel's the mayor. A&M.
Claus is 2 for 2. That's 2 for 2.
A&M -3 against Notre Dame. I think A&M. I think A&M at night. A&M at night with Elko in that defense. That's your difference. 21-17. The win and the cover. Maybe that's too few points for Notre Dame, but I think it's going to be low scoring. Give me the Aggies. Elijah.
Notre Dame straight up for me. Let's go 28-14. Notre Dame gets it done. I'm just not high on A&M. They have to show me first. I love Mike Elko, but still early in his tenure.
What do you say, Elijah?
Will?
I'm going to go with
Will, thank you.
A&M 28 and then Notre Dame 21.
Okay. Claus, you going with the Fighting Trevs or the Fighting Irish?
Well, Notre Dame tends to think that they are a little bit above everybody else. They're a little holier than thou, given their university's mission. And for those of you who have read the good book, you know that the last time that someone who thought they were a messenger from God came down to face those that worship false idols, it didn't go too well for those that worship the sacred cow. So I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one, 21, and the Aggies 17.
Let's squeeze in USC and LSU. Lincoln wanted to back out of this, allegedly. LSU is rebuilding at quarterback. I think I'm going to go USC outright. Give me USC 35-31 over LSU.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on is it Miller Moss, the quarterback for USC? Not sold on him. He was good in the bowl game, wasn't great. I think his wide receivers made a lot of play. Gives me LSU to win this game 31-28. It'll be a close game.
Will?
Yeah, I'll go USC 34 and then LSU 28.
Claus, what do you say here? Tigers or Trojans?
Well, big games like this come down to being properly prepared and feeling good heading into the game. I think USC, they might have been scared of the matchup, but there's a lot of good restaurants in Las Vegas, so they might get some properly cooked meat in them and feel pretty good come Sunday. And for LSU, it really depends on how fast Brian Kelly can collect those Lady of the Night trading cards. We all know how hard it is to get the Chastity Sins rookie card. So If the meat is medium rare and the cards are hard to find, I'll take USC 35 and LSU 28.
Hang on. We'll do Nebraska next.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Not all policies will qualify. Not available in all states.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Hi, David Brooks here, inviting you to join me this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for the Retire Smart Radio Show, where we'll provide you answers to your most pressing retirement questions and help you navigate these uncertain financial times. Don't just retire, retire smart. This Saturday morning, 11 a.m.
Smart Wealth LLC is a federally registered investment advisor under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940 and an affiliate of Retire Smart. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Information about Smart Wealth LLC can be found by visiting advisorinfo.sec.gov and searching by the advisor's name.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The guys with the stars and stripes on their trucks and patriotism in their tool belts are looking for skilled, reliable, hard-working technicians who will give the same honest advice to customers as they give their sister. Patriot Plumbing is a large company with local values, offering paid health insurance and competitive wages, plus plenty of work for experienced plumbers, HVAC service technicians, and machine operators. To join the Patriot team, get in touch today at patriotlincoln.com/careers.
Hi, this is Jason Ball, President and CEO of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. I want to tell you briefly about a new business in collaboration with the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development. CareerPathway.com is a website that gives employers a new way to look for talent to fill jobs and information to students about career opportunities and training. This tool was created by local entrepreneur Bo Jones and is now available for free for students and employers. It's not just a job search site. CareerPathway.com helps companies share real-world career knowledge with students and job seekers.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Brendan from the Black Hills chimes in. Lincoln Riley's brisket will be used as the game ball. A reminder to get buckled up. Use your seatbelt. It saves lives. It prevents injuries only if properly worn. Make it click. A message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. I'm seeing tracers. I have laughed so hard at Clausborne with the LSU USC pick. We're here.
Ladies of the Night rookie card.
On the patio here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We love Claus. It's the Friday forecast. We're just off Lincoln Road here in Gretna. Without further ado, it is Nebraska. It is the UTEP Miners. And when you're 27.5 is the line. And so we'll weigh in with our picks. I think Nebraska handles this thing with the run game, with ferocious defense and a comfortable first career start for Dylan Raiola. Nebraska 38. I'm going to say 38-10. 38-10. Nebraska over UTEP. They barely get the cover. It's a lot of points for Nebraska, but I think they've got enough weapons and difference makers to at least put up 38. Elijah?
I don't think it's a question if Nebraska wins this football game. I hope nobody plays that for me tomorrow after Husker lost. Dear God, please. But I don't think UTEP has enough offensively or defensively to truly threaten this Nebraska team. I believe Matt Rule when he says that the reins will be off of Dylan Raiola tomorrow. The question to me is not if they'll be off, it's how long they'll be off. If Nebraska takes the lead in this one, does Nebraska take their foot off the gas pedal, knowing who's coming to town the week after, understanding you want to keep some guys healthy, you don't want to show too much? That's the question to me in terms of Nebraska covers. I think Nebraska puts up some good first half numbers. I think they cover in the second half with a strong running game. Give me Nebraska 35, UTEP 6. I think that Husker defense is stifling.
Road show tomorrow, weekend edition, Hail Varsity, 11:30 to 1:30 as we're at the Single Barrel, 9th and P downtown Lincoln. Come say hi. Will, what say you with Nebraska and UTEP?
I made this pick this morning. Schmidt, I did not know your score prediction. Great minds think alike. I also am going 38-10.
Okay.
Both of you guys picking a field goal.
Well, got to go 1 for 1, dude. Claus, the floor is yours. You're incredible. We love having you on another football season. What do you say here, Miners or Huskers?
Well, I appreciate all the praise there, but I still think it's kind of a mean thing you did to me here. I mean, you gave me 6 games, including Penn State and Notre Dame, and this is the first one where I won't get in trouble for making a joke about Miners. So,
wow.
Told you.
There he goes.
I won't even do that now because there's still people down in El Paso that are holding secrets for Darlington and I after our trip to the Sun Bowl in '69. So I'll respectfully say Nebraska 45 and the University of Texas El Paso 17.
All right, big win and cover for the Big Red. El Paso, the glorious Sun Bowl. Claus, you have a great day.
Okay.
Big thanks to Claus. Come see us, Single Barrel, 11:30 tomorrow. Big thanks to Hurrdat Sports here in Gretna. Back at you here next Friday for Buff Week. Talk to you tomorrow morning at 11:30 with Hail Varsity Weekend.